Okay.
Got it. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay, if you're still with us, thank you for holding in through the technical difficulties. This will be uploaded to the Facebook page and various places. So there's a couple of housekeeping things I want to get to first. First, since this is being recorded and people can't ask live questions, if you watch this and when you're watching this, can you maybe click like or love or, even haha, we don't care if you laugh at us. But just, click let us know you were here. Still, you can still feel free to ask questions in the comments and we'll just do it old school and reply in the comments to your questions later. So, but this way I'm thinking it's sort of like you're not with us, but it'll feel like you're with us in post-mortem that's the wrong word. Forever and ever.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, so with that, let me introduce, or for some of you, reintroduce the fantastic, the wonderful, the gregarious Danielle.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, and I can finally hear you.
Yes. Those that don't know, we tried to do this as Facebook Live earlier, and I don't know, a lot of tech challenges. I think after 2.5 years, we know how to use Zoom, so we're using Zoom.
Yeah. This is my safe place.
Yes. So, and Danielle, what we wanted to do is just hop online for really quickly. And I'm sure people have been watching the news and they've seen, the canceled flights. And it's been going on for, 2 or 3 months. I don't know what like in the States right now. Danielle's obviously on a ship somewhere, but usually in Connecticut. And just lots of challenges with the airlines and even hotels and cruise lines and everybody just having, trying to get back to full status to what they were like post pandemic. And that means in some cases hiring new staff and training new staff. And it's been a challenge. And so wanted to give a few of our, my favorite travel hacks to sort of make life a little easier. And Danielle is, as you know, works for Virgin Voyages. She travels a lot for work.
I do.
So whereas I'm on the booking side and making reservations, and I've traveled a little bit in 2022, and I get a lot of feedback from clients. Danielle's the one, she's living it. She's out there.
I'm out traveling. Yes.
So anyways, so let me start off. Danielle, and I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't tell you. If there's one thing that in the last few months that you do when you travel, you think that maybe makes your life a little easier?
Well, I think the thing is, really be organized and prepared. I think the key, especially to flying these days, because there's been so many cancellations, is if you can, especially if you're going on a cruise, you want to get there a day early. That's 101, and Sandra can help you out with that. I always recommend going through a travel agent because right now the world is so unpredictable. You want a professional who has the relationships with the different, brands and the airlines and that sort of thing to be able to help you out if something goes wrong. But I think, making sure you have insurance, that's another thing. But As far as flying, this is actually a tip that I heard recently. If you're worried about a cancellation or something like that, make sure you're on the first flight of the day. That's key,
Yeah.
apparently. I
Yeah.
just saw that and I didn't I wasn't really aware of that, but yeah, I've been traveling a bit. I travel a lot to Florida. I've been to Canada and I've experienced all sorts of issues. So it's all about making sure you have the right frame of mind, be prepared, go early. Those types of things are really important right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree, get the earliest flight you can during the day, because that if it's canceled, that gives you all day to get on the next flight.
That's right.
I've seen it so many times where people have insisted that they want the last flight out, and then they're confused about why they have to spend the night
Right. Right.
unexpectedly. Not
Right.
all of them. I mean, some people, they know what they're getting into, but yeah, especially say Toronto, New York, or something that where there's lots of flights that day, it just gives you more opportunity.
That's right.
And actually, you know what? That since we're talking about canceled flights, I'm going to go straight into my bonus hack and my bonus tip, which is one of my favorite travel tips of all time. And that's pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, whenever. If your flight is canceled, don't waste time. Obviously, call me because I can help if I booked your flight. But if you don't have a travel agent to call, then, don't waste your time trying to get onto the airline's website with the wonky airport Wi-Fi, or waiting in line at the go straight. If the airline has a business class lounge and it allows you to buy into the business class lounge, go straight to the business class lounge. It's usually like 40 or 50 bucks to buy in if you're not already flying business class. And the staff in, I would say, every lounge I've ever been to, they're phenomenal. They have access to the flights and to the seats much quicker than the people who are standing in the hour-long line with everybody else on the plane.
That's a great, great tip. Honestly,
Yeah.
I am going to use that. I never thought about that, but that's a really good tip. Really good. Because
Yeah.
you can get your flight rebooked in the lounge because they have
Yeah.
access, like you said.
And sometimes they have a little bit of, I mean, you would know better than I would because you used to work with the airlines or Virgin Atlantic, but I've heard rumors, maybe it's not true, that they can get overrides to get the better seats. But that could just be because you're there quicker. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was talking to an agent yesterday. We were meeting up and we were talking about, I think sometimes, you can get lucky with someone, an agent at the
Yeah.
desk. I think they do have the
Yeah.
ability to override things. Um, but sometimes you're at the mercy of whatever mood that person is in that day, which is
Yeah.
stinky. But I mean, going to the business lounge, that is, I think, by far the best thing I've heard. Honestly, I think that's really smart.
And that gives me a lot of validation just because
Yeah,
from you.
yeah, for sure. That's super smart.
Yeah, so that's one like I said, that's my favorite. It's one I recommended
Yeah.
pre-pandemic too. And I love lounges, especially during the pandemic.
Mm.
That obviously, if you can afford to fly business class, or if you have the upgrade ability, or that's the way to go, especially now. And if you want to be social distancing a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
but it's such a great, even just, paying that to get in before your flight, and you can relax. You get the free food. It's not as busy as the terminal, which is great when you, for now. It's just, I like it. I know maybe it makes me sound like a snob or obnoxious, but I've started to get used to the business class lounge, even if I'm not flying business class.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll pay for just to get in there, and your
Yeah,
credit card will let you in free.
that's true too.
Okay, so but going back to the tips, so the other thing is the pandemic's not over. The world is opening up. Danielle can attest to this just from Virgin Voyages policies. Everything keeps changing. You know, one day they're saying, okay, we have to wear masks. The next day they're not. There's a website that I will put into the comments, and it's called Sherpa. And it's one that the professionals use. And it will tell you the entry requirements for every country, the COVID restrictions for every country, what to expect while you're, and it's a good thing to check, not just when you book, but also a few days before you travel. Because I can't tell you how often I've reminded people, you have to fill out your ArriveCan, you have to fill out this, you have to do that. And because they don't maybe read the emails, or they forgot the conversation, they arrive without, or they don't remember, or it's the last minute. So it's an extra step. So I'm going to put this website in the comments and check it, because everything can change. Another thing that's happening, Danielle, you might have, I don't know if it would have gotten to the US news, because it's really purely Canadian.
Yeah.
But it also sort of works, I think, with the States, is that in Canada, a lot of people, because of the backlog with passports, they've been sort of, I guess, booking flights or booking travel with the intention of canceling it after they've gotten their passport, so that they can fast track the passport. And the government has said, please stop doing that. We can't handle the backlog. We can't handle all the people with their fake trips.
That is new to me. I haven't heard of that.
And you wouldn't think Canada, we're so polite.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, my recommendation is still get the passport. If you need a new passport or you need to renew, get it in when you normally would get it in, or a little, a few months or a couple of months earlier. But if it doesn't come on time, leave time for it to not come. But if you're still a couple of months out from your trip and you still haven't received your passport, call your local member of parliament. And if in the States, same thing, call your senator or your congressperson, man. Something that they've been doing is they can help to fast track it and find out where your lost passport document is. So that's another travel hack.
Good tip. Another good tip.
I'm not just making this stuff up off the top of my head. And especially now, another thing is download the apps. Even if you're a paper person, download the apps just so you always have the electronic copies of stuff. The airports also have apps, and the airport apps will usually give you the map. to give you like the quickest way to get places. Virgin Voyages. Oh my God. Virgin Voyages has one of the best apps on the sea.
That's great.
And yeah, it's really good. So use the app. If you're I guess, Danielle, do you have like one of those like air tags or tiles for your luggage that you've been using?
I don't, but something that I've become accustomed to is carrying on everything.
Yeah.
I rarely will check a bag. My husband has no time for that. So I always travel with everything, but I do think that's also quite smart because then you can, God forbid something gets lost, you can track it. So that is very smart.
So
But I don't have it. I don't
yeah,
have it, but I should.
well, I have my trusty air tags that I
Nice.
all over, but let's face it, with even though they help a lot, they, when some of those pictures you've been seeing on the news of just entire entryways of the airport covered with luggage, it might tell you which airport your luggage is in or what corner of the airport the luggage is in. But it's still a bit of a hassle to have to go find it and, make the phone calls to say, I promise you, my luggage is in your airport. Just send it to me. So, and which is fine. I mean, a lot of people, you're on vacation or you just got home and you have the time and it's no big deal because it's not a big deal. But sometimes if you're traveling for business and you're carrying a lot of stuff with you and you can't avoid not having luggage. I mean, obviously the best thing is always to carry on if you can. But if you can't avoid and you really need that luggage with you when you get to your destination, FedEx will ship your luggage.
Another good tip, I
It
would
costs
say.
a little
Yeah.
extra. The one drawback of FedEx is you do have to put it in a box. So there are companies like Luggage Free and other luggage shipping companies that will put it in the box for you and then take it out of the box and have it waiting for you at your hotel. And I can put some of those links in the comments as well. But especially, I have a lot of clients that are in the event industry or are bringing their musical instruments with them. And you can't show up at the concert without your musical instrument. And you might not want to check it. So, obviously one that doesn't break, but easily. So it's something to consider is, shipping your luggage. So it's waiting for you when you get there.
Smart.
Okay, so which one? I guess the last tip is that one. No. The last tip is that I don't know, and this is a very niche tip, so it doesn't apply to everybody. But something that a lot of people don't seem to realize is that the accessibility and the special needs departments of the airports and the airlines and the cruise lines, they're not just for people with physical disabilities and that are in wheelchairs. If you have a child or an adult with, what am I SPD, and what's the S stand for? Sensory processing disorder. There are sensory rooms in the airports. You can still contact the accessibilities departments to find out how they can help. If they're seniors, the airports have, the little golf carts.
Mhm.
And if you're not comfortable with the wheelchair, they can drive you around in. There, you can get, extra leg room for your on the plane. Every airport and every airline it's a little bit different, but check their websites and see what they offer, because you might not think that it's something that can help you if that's something you struggle with, and they might actually be able to help you. So it's a niche thing, but a lot of people don't know it's there.
Mhm.
So it's good to know it's there. And Virgin Voyages, again, kudos to Virgin Voyages. It might have changed, but they don't have, last time I checked, they didn't have a special department. And that's because they actually train all their sailor services staff
Right.
to know
Yeah,
their stuff.
that's true. And any special needs, obviously we're adult exclusive. So, but with regard to any, special needs, and anything could be noted on the booking. I know we have hearing impaired kits and seeing impaired kits. Obviously, any kind of food special need, like celiac or something like that, is like we can handle that 100%. So yeah, we want anyone who's anyone. I don't care if they have a special need. I don't care if they have a handicap in any way, to feel comfortable on
Yeah.
Virgin Voyages.
And people don't always know that they can ask. I get the question a lot from non-clients, and I can help with my own clients easily. But for non-clients, they don't know that all they have to do is call
Yeah.
and ask, or look at the website and see. I get, the kosher. I was surprised to see a kosher couple on Virgin Voyages when I was there.
Yeah, we actually, I will say,
You-
we don't have kosher meals.
No, and I don't think you do. So that's why I was surprised.
Yeah,
But
we don't.
they found a
I-
way to
to
get
figure
food.
it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, I mean,
yes,
they'll work with you.
yes.
And I mean, I can attest to the how much better with special diets
Hmm.
Virgin is than some other places.
Very true.
Some really good places out there, but Virgin is exceptional. Okay, so I guess, I don't know, is there any tips or hacks that you think I've missed that you think are really important for people to know?
No, I think you hit them all. And I think the key is for anyone who's looking to especially travel internationally, is to use someone like Sandra, someone that knows all the updated. Check in with her if you're about to leave, make sure. I know a lot of the requirements are getting lifted, but there's
Yeah.
some like odd ones that you wouldn't normally, like for example, Bermuda this week just added something. I know it's so strange. It's so strange because most things are getting lifted, but I think Bermuda added a new requirement. So always check with your travel professional,
Yeah.
before. And obviously, Sandra will keep you in the know of anything that changes.
Yeah.
But for Virgin, we were allowing unvaccinated, 10% of unvaccinated. We're no longer requiring tests for anyone who is vaccinated. So a lot of the things that were stopping people from traveling are now being, completely
Yeah.
lifted. So that's really nice. And that's
And
why the airlines need to catch up and hire more people, because so many people have that urge to travel now.
yeah, and it's safer to travel
Hmm.
because so many of us are now, the fully vaccinated.
That's
And
right.
Danielle was vaccinated before my time came in Canada.
I'm
So
boosted, I'm vaxxed. I've got it all.
I was so happy the last when I got my 4th booster shot, they gave me the kids band-aid.
Oh, that's so
So I was
nice.
like, little things that make me happy.
Definitely.
And I did want to ask, so I sailed on Virgin in the end of January,
Hmm.
beginning of February, and loved it. You know, I'm not a cruiser,
I'm not either.
and that's a lot of my clients aren't cruisers, which makes it really difficult to explain. It's not a cruise, it's a voyage. Trust me, this is not what you think.
It's
But I
true.
got addicted. I can't wait until my next voyage. But when I was cruising, it was still, around the end of the real dangerous Omicron.
Mhm.
Things were starting to open up again, but it was still a risky time. I've never felt safer throughout the entire pandemic. They were Virgin, like, at that time they were doing testing at the port. There was, masking on ships, and they were very good about making sure you kept your mask on
Mhm.
indoors. So can you kind of tell us how have things changed? Like where is Virgin standing now with everything in your policies? And
Yeah, so I touched upon it a little bit,
yeah,
but
you did.
right now we require all of our crew to be fully vaccinated. Um, we're allowing only 10% on the ship right now that are unvaccinated, but they have to test. So anyone who's unvaccinated has to test. Everyone's still required to complete their ready to sail. So that involves questions, have you been exposed? Obviously, if anyone's exhibiting symptoms, they're not going to be let on the ship. We'll give them a future voyage credit. But I will say that Virgin as a brand is well known. I know when I worked for Virgin Atlantic for 10 years, we had safety requirements that other airlines don't have. Virgin as a
Yeah.
brand is all about keeping people safe. I'm not a traditional cruiser. I know that a lot of the other brands have completely lifted all of their requirements. I'm glad we still have some, um, but Virgin Voyages is a lot different than your typical cruise. It's not very mass market. It's more like a boutique
Yeah.
experience while on the water. So we've gotten rid of a lot of the pain points that traditional cruise has. And also I would say, we don't have a buffet on the ship, so
Yeah.
that also cuts back on even like any other virus that may be passed because so many people are touching the same things. We don't have that on the ship. So that's just something that I like to talk about as well.
And it's worth noting that when Virgin Voyages was still in a concept stage and they were designing it and developing it, there was no buffets ever in the plan.
That's right.
So that, I mean, it's
And
and
that has a lot to do also with our the respect for the environment,
yeah,
because a buffet does create a lot of waste, and we're not interested in that really. So,
and it ends up being the food is fresher because
yep,
it's all made to order.
yep.
And I guess so. I know there's also been a lot of changes as far as the offerings of Virgin.
Mm.
And I mean, for those that don't, I guess for those that don't know, anyways, can you just go a little bit about some of the key points of Virgin and
Yeah, sure.
what
So
changes have been made?
I think one of the biggest things that makes someone want to sail with us is the fact that you need to be 18 years old to sail. So
Yeah.
that's a huge one. But everything's included. The food is exceptional on the ship. There's no upcharge for any of the specialty restaurants. Those are all included. And when I tell you, people, the biggest compliment I get, there's two things that people always respond and say they were blown away by the food and our crew.
Yeah.
So our crew is we're the Virgin brand in general. We want you to, and this goes for our crew, this goes for any of our sailors that come on board. We want you to come as you are. We want you to be who you are. So our crew, if they have tattoos, we want you to show them. We don't make you hide your tattoos or your piercings, or we want you to come on board, be comfortable as you are, and be treated like a rock star. There's also no dress code, there's no forced formal night or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you how you want to sail. We have a lot of spaces dedicated to wellness. So if you're not into that party scene, which we do have, but if you really want to detox and get, really focus on your wellness, you can do that on board. We cater to special diets. We have a vegan, vegetarian forward restaurant on board. So we're doing things a lot different than a traditional cruise. And I will say right now we have a couple different specials going on. So right now we have, if you want to sail in a balcony cabin, which I must have a balcony
Yeah.
cabin, that I will not,
Minimum.
that's just me. But otherwise I get a little claustrophobic. But um, our balcony cabins right now are buy one, get one half off. Or if you want to sail on your own, so if you want a balcony cabin and you're like me, we will not penalize you. So no single supplement charge for anyone who wants to sail in a balcony. And then I have to mention this other cool thing. We do not have traditional drink packages. Alcohol is
Yeah.
not included in the voyage fare. So keep that in mind. We have something special that we do pre-voyage. So it's called bar tab.
Yeah.
You prepay $300, and right now we have a special through the end of the month. We'll give you an extra 100 for every 300 you prepay. That being said, if you want to sail in November right now, any voyage in November, because we're celebrating eating and drinking, obviously the thing that makes me most happy in life, right? But for the month of
Right.
November, any voyage will get automatically added a $300 bar tab. So that's really exciting for the month of November. So we have that going on right now. So lots of great pricing. It's never going to be this good. I keep trying to tell people, since we're new,
Yeah.
we have these
Yeah.
introductory prices. So get in now, because later it's most
Yeah.
likely going to be double.
I agree. I mean, I've never seen pricing so low for like your last minute within
Yes.
120-day departures. And I mean, you can get a full cruise for less than $1,000 US
Mm-hmm.
for
It's true.
for some dates.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's astounding.
Yeah. I would say definitely check it out. Obviously,
That's per person.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's per
Yeah, I was
person.
just say per person.
But those you may find an insider cabin for
Yeah.
around that as well, for a solo insider cabin. We do have those. The other thing is, we have been on if you're part of Bachelor Nation, you would have gotten a sneak peek of our second ship Valiant Lady,
Yeah.
who's now sailing out of Barcelona. So you would have seen some spaces. The last viewing of that was Monday. But check that out too. So yeah.
I've seen some, I think, balcony cabins that for as low as like 800.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the pricing
US
is
per person. So
crazy
it does, it's
for
and
what is
especially if you're a
included.
bachelor fan or bachelorette fan, then it's your opportunity to go and see where.
Exactly.
Everybody was.
Where everyone, where I forget her name, but she seems to be crying all over the ship. So what's her name? The not Gabby, the other one. So yeah,
I
it's
haven't
fun to
seen it, but
watch.
now I'm like, that's
Oh my
horrible.
God, she cries at all over the place. I feel so bad for
I
her.
hope they're happy tears.
I don't.
No, no.
I
It's
think they're
reality TV
tears of
now.
rejection.
Oh,
It's
poor
very
thing.
sad.
Oh,
But yeah, as she's crying, I'm like, oh, there's deck 7, there's the wake. So the wake is our steak and seafood, and they
yes.
film a lot in the wake. So I'm like, oh, there she is crying there. But
See,
she is in one of our largest, both bachelorettes are in the massive suites. So
oh
that's
my
pretty
God.
cool to see, because they invite, they have the dramatic conversation, and they sit down, and I'm like, oh, there's the massive suite. So it's kind of cool to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess.
Oh, I have one other thing.
All right. Yes.
Today is the 18th
Yes.
of August. If within the next 7 days you reach out to Sandra and you say, you know what, I'm ready to go, we are going to give you a special, just because Sandra works so closely with me at Virgin Voyages. She gets an exclusive for the next 7 days for any of her customers or clients that book through her. Will give you some onboard credit. So depending on which cabin you want to sail in, if you're
Yes.
an insider, we're going to give you 100 USD onboard credit. If you're in a balcony, which, like I said, that's the only way I go.
Right.
We're going to give you 200, and if you book a suite, $400. So that's for the next 7 days.
And it's sailor loot, not bar tabs. So
Right. This
you're
is
already
yeah,
taking care of the bar tab if you travel in November, but this
right.
is, you can buy spa, all the other stuff, store
Tattoo.
excursions, tattoo, the record store.
Yes, Void vinyl. So there's a lot of fun things to do on
Yeah,
the ship.
it's a really great show. I can't wait to go again.
You have to go. It's time. Go
I
in
know.
November. Get a group together.
I'm thinking of it. Anyways, I don't want to keep you any longer,
Yeah,
Danielle. You're amazing. I love you so much.
of
You're
course.
always there for me. It's amazing.
Anytime. And I'm so sorry about all the technical
Oh
difficulties,
no,
but I
it's
think
my fault. We tested it out and it worked.
I don't know what
And
happened,
then,
but it makes me feel old when I can't figure those things out.
you know what? The good thing is we switched over to Zoom
Yeah, here we are.
and we have our Virgin Voyages Zoom backgrounds
That's right. Right.
and like the yoga studio. Everything's zen.
Yes,
You're in
exactly.
your rock star suite.
I am. I am.
Amazing. It's all good. It's a thank you for taking the
You're
time.
welcome.
I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. And yeah, I will leave my contact information in the comments for anybody who wants to reach out and take advantage of this amazing 7-day promotion that Danielle's offered, because they don't usually do that.
Yes.
Like, and
Great
if
promotion.
anybody has been on the last 2 webinars I've done with Danielle, there was no added incentives. That's not the Virgin way, but
This week it
this week
is.
it is.
Yes.
It's Christmas in August.
Exactly.
So, thank you so much,
You're
Danielle.
welcome.
And always a pleasure to see you and talk to you. And yeah, everybody just
Bye.
bye.